So today, I met this fella met me on SGR train while on my way from Mombasa back to Nairobi. So he came to where I was seated, he greeted me, then said that I look familiar. I told him, but of course, I'm the greatest businessman in Nairobi, Kenya. So he asked me to sign an autograph for him, and I did. Then he went back to where he was seated.
I wonder.
So when we alighted at the Nairobi terminus, he came to me and said that he was new in town and I looked so nice. So he asked if I can take him around town. I said, but of course. So I asked him, where do you come from? He said, Burkina Faso. I started speaking French. Then he said, no French, please. I said, I'm sorry. So I suggested to him that before I take him around town, I can take him to some nice place, a very good French restaurant.
My lord.
Once again, he said, no French. Then he gave a threat. If you continue talking about anything French, then I will leave without telling you. Then I asked him, is that not what we call a French leave? So, I told him that I'm not speaking about French anymore, but I gave him advice. When you go back to your country, you have to bring up new laws. 1, tell all the farmers that nobody should be found cultivating French beans. Number 2, I told him that all lovers and friends, they should greet each other using any other form of love and kiss, but not French kiss. Then lastly, all hotels and restaurants in his country should not be found making French fries. So he agreed and he thanked me for my pieces of advice. Then we continued walking. He told me that he really likes football. So I took him to Nyayo Stadium. We did some playing and he really had fun. Wow. Then I took him to meet my good friends where we made stories. He was given some good mentorship. Then we continued walking around town. So while walking, he told me that he is a great fan of Arsenal Football Club. So the moment I heard the word club, I knew this guy likes clubbing. So I took him to the Polo Dance Club in Nairobi.
I wonder.
So there we danced for some minutes and he really enjoyed the dance. Then we left. While walking, he saw another big church somewhere there along the streets. Then he asked me to take him in there so that he can sing, praise and worship. So we went inside there, we prayed, we danced, we sang and worshipped, and he was very elated. Then we left. So while walking around town, I told him, of course, I'm a business person, but I work as a construction engineer. So I took him to one of my sites. Then he asked me to give him a contract for 2 hours. So they did some good work. Then we left. He said it's now time for him to go back home. So while walking, we started brainstorming and sharing ideas. That's when I realized that this guy is very brilliant. He said, because I'm a construction engineer and Africa is so big, we as Africans can build and create our very own overseas and our very own,
my lord,
abroad.
I wonder.
So I said, that is a very great idea because we have seas around us. We can create our very own overseas. We can create other continents within Africa. And we said, that is exactly what we're going to do. So I gave him company to the airport where he was to board a plane. So we waved goodbyes as we walked. And we said, together, Africa is going forward. That is my story for the day. The next story coming tomorrow. Thank you.